Hey everybody, this is cobradvs for episode 4 of RattleCast, and once again with me,
Neo Flynn.
um, sticking true to our roots. All right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and read the comments from the last video. For some reason, episode 3 was significantly less popular than the previous two.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
It's a fluke.
Yeah.
I thought it turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
But just a couple of comments on this one. Ballin' Nick 1982 says, another great episode. Here's a question. Are there any consoles you would like to collect for, but just find it too expensive to collect for? Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yes is the answer. I don't have a Saturn because collecting for the Saturn is ridiculously expensive. I know a lot of the games are really pricey. Do you have a Saturn?
I do, actually, and I have a somewhat extensive library because I had it when it first came out, and it was fairly cheap to get into, so
Yeah.
I have a pretty sizable collection of Saturn, but nothing ultra rare. I do have, actually, my rarest game is on Saturn, and it's Winning Post, which is some Japanese horse racing simulator, which I had no idea was like ultra rare, but it is, so like worth $100 complete in box. So.
Oh, nice. It seems like every time people talk about consoles that are expensive to collect for, the Saturn's right up there.
Yeah,
Another one is the Super NES. That one can get pretty pricey too.
Yeah, for like the ultra rare titles, but I mean,
Yeah.
you can get a pretty sizable SNES library without trying too hard.
That's true. It seems like if it's an RPG on the Super Nintendo, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah,
I don't know why that is.
for me it's Neo Geo because
Yes. Good thing you mentioned that because I forgot about it. That's ridiculous.
yeah,
Just the system alone is, a ton.
yeah, it'll set you back quite a bit. I mean, it was $600 when it first came out. So
Good God. Then the Virtual Boy too. That's kind of.
yeah,
But there's only like 14 games for it, so I guess it's not too bad.
yeah, the system is the hard part on the Virtual Boy is finding one. But
Yeah, they're pretty uncommon. All right, and then 69th Predator says, nice episode, man. Look forward to these. Awesome. Glad you enjoyed it. And that's it for the comments. Although your friend, Mr. Borderlands, said something, right?
Yeah, he sent me a text after he listened to the last one, and I'll go ahead and read it here. Just finished the podcast for the week. Very good. I can tell you the 3DS battery is about 3 hours with maximum brightness and Wi-Fi, because we were talking about the comparison between the Vita and the 3DS. So he actually has one, so that's his take. So 3 hours, not spectacular, but...
Oh, yeah, not by any means.
No. And let's see, I may create a YouTube account to comment, but for now I'm too lazy. That's why he sent me the text. Question for you guys. Do you get into the extra stuff for games? I've read tons of Halo books / comics, the Mass Effect books, etc. Does the collector in you push you to getting all that extra crap too? I mean, I know my answer to this. With games that I really enjoy, I will get the extra stuff like Halo. I have a pretty sizable Halo collection, but other than that, I don't really get terribly into it. I mean, if there's something really cool, I might pick it up, but I'm not a huge, like, get everything for everything type of guy. I don't know about you, but...
Well, a couple of things. Most of the game series, a lot of game series have books. But, for as many that do have books, even more don't.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the games I enjoy don't have book adaptations. And another thing is I don't really care to read too much. Although, if I'm going to read, it's going to be something that I'd be interested in, which I guess would be video game books. I did start to read The Fall of Reach, but I never, I couldn't, I don't know why I couldn't get into it, but I'm sure, it wasn't even my book. I was borrowing it from a friend, so I really didn't have any, incentive to read it. I don't know. But a series, go ahead.
I was going to say, the Halo books are really well done.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Well, I guess The Fall of Reach has its own video game, so...
There you go.
I guess that speaks for something. I know this isn't necessarily... It's a video game series, but it's got so many other things. Is the Alien vs. Predator. There's a novel series for those that I really loved. I read the hell out of those. There's like these 3 older ones that I got into, and as far as them, books or anything like that associates itself with video games, I think that's probably it. Although if there's a video game movie, I'll see that.
Right.
Usually. I mean, like with the Mass Effect movie, I've never played Mass Effect. I'm not a big fan. I don't dislike it by any means, but I don't know that I'd go see that.
Yeah, I mean, I have them. I just haven't played them yet. But so I mean, I'm sure if I play them and enjoy it, it's probably something I'll go check out. But
Did you see the Doom movie?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Do you like Doom?
I mean, I'm not a huge fan, but I enjoy it. But
Okay.
It's just one of those movies I never got around to seeing. So.
Okay, well, you've played the games?
Yeah.
Okay. For Doom 1 and 2, I grew up playing those games. They're like it might be my favorite first-person shooter series of all time. And the movie came out in, I think, 2005. It sort of was in coherence with Doom 3, which came out in 2004, I think. So it was around the same time. And they have the same sort of feel. But the problem is, the movie is sort of more like... It doesn't have the same creepy vibe. It's more like a... I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it doesn't really capture the feeling that the games did.
Of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they sort of went the scapegoat way with, getting The Rock in there.
Right.
The big beefy guy, which isn't what it needs,
Yeah.
And with the game, I guess all 3 of them, talking about the main 3, that's always like you are the only person, like, alive.
Right.
So that would be a pretty boring movie. So the premise really isn't, great to begin with, but...
Doesn't make for a good movie, yeah.
Right. I guess, well, they could do it like, I guess going back again, like, to Rambo or something. It's like him. He's like the only good guy, right? Well...
Right, yeah, sort of.
Loosely used, kind of, but... It's like him against a bunch of people, but...
Yeah.
I guess that would, I don't know. And they're making another movie, from what I understand, another Doom movie, which I'll see. Because I enjoyed the first one, even though it didn't, really set in with the games. I did enjoy it. So, that's it, I think, for media that I would check out outside of video games that are related to video games.
Yeah, like I say, I mean, if it's a series that I'm into, like Halo, I'll get some other stuff for it, but I don't buy everything.
Right.
I don't have that much expendable income to be just snatching up everything, like $2,000 Zelda lots on eBay.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, I collect video games. I don't collect books. So, you know what I mean? Like, of course, if it's video game related, it's, that's a reason to get it, but they're never anything that I strive to get.
Right.
So, you want to go ahead and move on to the news?
Yeah.
You can go ahead and start if you like.
All right, you're going to make me go first. The first one that I found is Rage, which is the upcoming game from id, which is getting massive publish. Is apparently going to require 3 discs on Xbox, which is nothing new for huge releases. But the thing that caught my eye was an 8 gigabyte install on PS3, which is pretty insane.
Don't, like, normal PS3 games take, like, hours to install?
It depends on the game, but yeah, that can take a little while. So I can't imagine
8 gigabytes is probably going to take, like, a day or something.
Like a day, yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, and basically what the 3 discs on Xbox are, if I read the story correctly, is that 2 of them are the game disc, and then the third one is like the multiplayer disc. So I guess if you want to play multiplayer, you got to swap out every time. So
I don't know. That can be kind of a,
I mean, it's not a thing, deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I've played games with multiple discs many times. So plus, the reason I'm getting Rage is for the single player. It's not for multiplayer.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it doesn't really affect me. And the way the game looks, like, it looks phenomenal, like, visually.
Yeah.
So I'm really not surprised. And I think that maybe will speak to the, maybe the length of the game, the quality.
Right. Yeah.
So, but then again, when you're talking id, quality is never an issue.
And But yeah, I think, I mean, for them to put it on 2/3 discs, I think that tells you that it's going to be at least a fairly significant game. Because you figure, even Fallout is only one disc, and there's how many hours of gameplay in that thing, so I can only imagine what they're going to do with
Even
Raiders.
Borderlands.
You're right, yeah.
That's awesome. I'm really excited for that game. Which comes out October 6th, I do believe.
I believe so, yeah. Something like
Which
that.
is about a week from tomorrow? Yeah, a week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or a week from this Tuesday, which I guess is when this episode will come out. All right, what's the first one I've got is the EA lawsuit. The new EA user agreements where you cannot sue them.
Yeah, Sony actually started this trend.
You know what?
Their system update.
I saw, what's his name? I don't know his YouTube name, but it's the Legacy Gamer. He does that Game Wrong thing. He posts in Rob's group, and I catch those, and he did a little half episode on the whole Sony thing. And
basically Sony started it, and what it is there's a little clause in the user agreement which you have to basically agree to go online or do anything like that says you can't be part of a class action lawsuit against them. That's basically what it is. So if something like the giant screw-up that they just had with with everyone's private information getting stolen, basically if something like that happens again, they're protected against you going into a class action lawsuit against them. But you can opt out of it if you write them a letter and send it to them, but you only have 30 days once you've agreed to it to do that. So most people are screwed because the EA's when they instituted it was the 25th of August. So basically, if you haven't done it by now, you're pretty much toast. So
I think it's funny that the news story that I found didn't come out till September 23rd.
Right.
A month after it happened.
And but there's some people that seem to think that if something did happen and a bunch of people went after it, that sort of thing wouldn't hold up in a court. Like,
yeah, isn't it illegal? Like,
it's one of those gray areas that nobody really knows. But I think if enough people went after it, they could probably get it overturned.
Yeah,
so.
It seems kind of shady. The whole thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things they sneak in there. Like if you ever saw the South Park episode that made fun of the whole user agreement thing.
Oh, the iTunes?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, it's one of those things that they just kind of sneak in there I think to see if people are paying attention, which most people don't, Right. And I readily admit I'm one of those people. I don't usually read.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to sit there and read.
Let me play the damn game,
Yeah. So you want to go ahead?
Yeah, there was kind of a pause there.
Yeah.
The next one is Bethesda, which we all know and love.
Actually, I don't know that they... Well, I've heard of them.
Fallout.
What are they famous for? Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're basically in this legal battle with Masthead, who is developing the MMO that's based on Fallout, which some people have heard of, a lot of people haven't.
I would fall into the latter category.
Yeah, basically they contracted these guys to make a Fallout MMO, and then that was when Interplay owned the Fallout name, and now that Bethesda owns it, they're trying to say, well, they can't do that, it's our property now. But basically the U.S. Supreme Court smacked them down and said, nope. Basically, I'll actually read the verdict here verbatim because it's pretty funny. Plaintiff would be Bethesda, has not demonstrated that it will be irreparably prejudiced if the requested ex parte relief is not granted, or that it is without fault in creating the crisis that requires ex parte relief. Indeed, plaintiff was aware as early as February of 2011 that Masthead was potentially infringing its copyrights, yet plaintiff waited 7 months to apply for ex parte relief. The court finds that plaintiff unreasonably delayed in seeking relief and that the emergency that allegedly justifies the TRO is self-created. So basically the court is saying Bethesda sat around on their butts and didn't do anything about it, so, they're screwed, basically. So basically what it means is that things look good for Fallout Online to actually happen. So
that's cool.
There's actually a funny thing that they put at the end of the article that it's like, is anyone else weirded out by the United States government actively defending a series based on its complete and total destruction? Which is pretty funny.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
So,
the irony.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're a Fallout fan, things for Fallout Online look good, is basically what that's coming down to. So I
I don't know how blasphemous this is, but I've never played a Fallout game.
It's pretty blasphemous, actually. I'm a huge Fallout fan. In fact, I jumped back into New Vegas this week. So.
Okay, now I heard that they're good.
They're fantastic. Yeah.
But I heard that they're very, or at least with the New Vegas one, that it's extremely buggy. Unless they fixed it.
They've patched it a couple of times, and I've never ran into anything game-breaking. I've heard reports of people that, have, there's to get to the Strip in Vegas, you have to have, a pass, and some people say that they got the pass, and then it somehow disappeared, and they couldn't get back in. But, I mean, if you do what you're supposed to do when you play an RPG, which is save very often and a lot, and not, just have one save that you keep saving over, you have to have multiple saves. It's not a huge deal, because you can always go back.
Oh,
so
okay.
I've never ran into anything game breaking, but yeah, the series is spectacular, and it's one of those that you can sit in there and play for 100 hours and not do everything. So it's well worth its money because you get so much out of it. But in fact, I still haven't done everything in Fallout 3, and I don't know how many poured into that game. So, but it's a single player experience. So if you're not down for that, then you might get bored pretty quick.
All right. Well, the next story I have is a poll that says nearly 1/3 of gamers think that 3D makes the gameplay worse.
Yeah, this was actually pretty interesting. I saw this as well, but you beat me to it. So.
Score one for me. I've only played the 3DS for maybe a minute, and it wasn't even a game. It was more like a tech demo with those cards that you get with it.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it seems like a perfect idea. I don't know why people are so, weary about it, against it, that whole kind of thing. I think it works great in gaming and movies.
Yeah, I think a lot of what it is just, it seems almost frivolous, like you don't actually need it. From what I've played of it, I've only played the demo, the in-store kiosk demos. I haven't actually sat down with one and been able to mess around with it. But to me, it was just kind of there. It didn't do anything to it. The pilot wings thing, it didn't really do anything to enhance it. In fact, it almost made it harder because you couldn't really see exactly what was going on. But I don't know. I think it's just one of those things you have to adjust to.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's definitely something that has to be done correctly. And I don't know. I know the 3DS isn't selling well, but then once they did the price drop, it started selling well again. Is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so I want it to do well because it's a good idea, and Nintendo is kind of like the lead, the main guys to make something that seems like a gimmick into a great asset to the like the Wii, like the motion. Yeah. That seemed like a gimmick at first, I'm sure, to people, but look at it now. It's
right.
It's awesome. Well, some games are awesome.
And if you read further in that story, it's 56% of them felt that the ideal 3D experience was with a console and a 3D television, which makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
Having a handheld 3D is, I don't know. I don't see the...
I'll agree with the 56% that say it would be better on a TV at home.
Yeah.
I've played Call of Duty Black Ops in 3D. It's pretty cool, but it's not mastered yet to the point where I would say it's a must-have or it's anything that people should or need to get. It's definitely not as good as it is at the movie theater.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm not a huge 3D fan in general anyway. I don't go see movies in 3D and all that stuff. I'm just not a big into 3D guy, but some people really like it. I don't think it adds that much to it.
It's sort of like the kind of thing where it's like certain movies seeing in 3D would be awesome, like Tron Legacy, and Transformers, those kind of movies. But I don't need to see, the Shawshank Redemption in 3D. So
3D.
So,
and it just seems to be everywhere right now. I think we're oversaturated with 3D because it just seems to be everywhere, and they're doing it to everything. So I think it's a little bit overkill, and maybe that's why people are kind of down on it. But.
Now, did you see in the movies what they did with The Lion King? They re-released The Lion King in 3D.
In 3D, yeah. I didn't get a chance to see it.
And it made $22 million.
Yeah, but you have to realize that Lion King is one of those absolutely beloved Disney movies that, for people just to, even if they didn't do it in 3D, I still think it would have done amazing just because people love that movie and to go see it on a big screen again. You know, people were really, really clamoring for it. So it's one of those Disney movies that, you know, no matter what, it will always make money. So, and they're releasing it on Blu-ray soon, so it's got a lot of hype going around it right now. So.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It'd probably be fun to see, just to kind of for the nostalgic reasons. But it's not something I'd, you know.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big Lion King fan, but in fact,
it is a pretty damn good.
Yeah,
cartoon.
We're actually doing the nursery for my soon-to-be-born son in Lion King. So.
Oh well.
So there you go. Yeah.
All right. That was my story, right?
Yes. What do I have next?
Ooh. Some nerddom.
Oh, yes.
Star Wars one.
Star Wars. Old Republic. The new Star Wars MMO. They actually finally released its release date, which they've kept under wraps, and released the pricing structure. It's going to be December 20th in North America and December 22nd in European territories. And, of course, it's the typical MMO price structure, $15 a month, or you can get it cheaper if you buy, you know, in bulk, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be very interesting. I will probably wind up picking it up and at least checking it out. I loved the last one, Star Wars Galaxies, until they screwed it all up.
I never played it, but a Star Wars MMO sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, and this one is set in a different time. It's before the movies when, you know, Jedi and everything were prevalent. So it's not like Galaxies, which took place during the movies. So they made it almost impossible to become a Jedi at first, and then they screwed it all up and let everyone basically become a Jedi, and that's what I thought. But, I mean, that was the only MMO that I've really gotten into and played dedicatedly for an extended amount of time. And so I'm excited to see what they do with this one, so I'll probably be picking it up. But
I would try it out, you know, but I don't think I want to do the subscription thing. And I know it's probably worth it, but yeah, I'm still weary about it. I'd rather just play like Battlefront or something like that.
Right. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it. And it's BioWare, who I trust. They know how to make good games. So
they made Mass Effect, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, yeah, they seem to have good head on their shoulders.
And LucasArts is, you know, they've had their stinkers, but they generally do a good job. But so it'll be interesting to see how well it does. Some people are really down on it. A lot of people are really high on it. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of reviews it gets when they come out. So.
Yeah. Well, it seems like a pretty good scenario. Like a pretty good, you know, like blend. Like they should mix well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the fact that they're putting it not in the movie universe, I think, is a good idea, because some people have such an attachment to that like nothing will ever live up to what they want. So we'll see what happens.
Should be interesting. All right. So next I have, and this is something that sort of makes me a little bit mad. It's there's going to be a title update for Halo Reach. They say in the article coming in September, but I've heard it's around October 4th. That actually 343 sent a note, or like a little message on the Reach game, and I believe October 4th is the date they said.
Yeah.
But basically, what's going to be happening is they're going to change the game. They're going to change Halo Reach multiplayer to more suit it to when Halo Combat Evolved comes out. Now, on paper, to me, that sounds like a great idea. But here's where I have a problem. 343, I don't think, has any... I don't want to say right, because they do, but I don't think that it's, you know, right of them to be changing a game that they didn't make.
Yeah, I mean, since they're, like, overseeing the license now, I guess it's, you know...
Yeah, well, basically, it's their game now, but...
Yeah.
But it just kind of bothers me that they're going ahead. And these are pretty prevalent, you know, good, big changes, too, that... well, not huge by any means, but they will affect gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, the big one is armor lock, which...
Yeah. Which I hate, might I add.
I can't stand it, except when I'm using it. Yeah, it basically turns you invincible for a minute, and one of the things it does is if you get stuck with a plasma grenade and you turn on your armor lock, it will bounce the grenade off of you, so it saves you from getting killed, and yeah, it's not going to do that anymore. So,
I like that because
yeah.
that actually sucked. I think that sort of like distracted from what armor lock was like intentionally meant for.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, the other big thing is the pistol. They're bringing it more into the Halo Combat Evolved pistol, so I'm a huge fan of that.
So what does that mean? What's
basically the Combat Evolved pistol was incredibly powerful, and because it had a zoom function, you could basically use it as a mini sniper rifle if you got good enough with it. And ever since that, they've always made the pistol a lot weaker. So hopefully it's bringing it back to that for the Combat Evolved, anniversary multiplayer, I think is why they're doing it. But
Okay. And I've also heard that there is a option to remove bloom from your weapon.
Yeah, which I don't know what that's all about, really.
Well, you know what bloom is, right?
Yeah, the, lighting effect.
The what?
The, lighting... Or no, is that the auto-correct targeting, whatever business?
Bloom is like when you shoot, there's like a circle, and then there's a little circle inside that circle. Well, the smallest circle is like where you're aiming. And every time you shoot, the big circle gets even bigger, so it makes your accuracy go down.
Go down.
So it forces you to pace your shots.
Gotcha.
Which is new in Halo Reach. In Halo 3 they didn't have it. So, I don't know. I know a lot of people bitched about bloom when it first, was out there, and even now, it doesn't really bother me much, but...
I guess I never even noticed it, so I guess it didn't bother me.
Yeah. But it's going to sort of turn the DMR maybe into a little bit more of an efficient weapon.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, these could be good things. I'm not saying that they're bad changes. They just sort of unsettled me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you change a game experience, at its core level, I think, it kind of throws you, but... We'll all adjust, and we'll still play it, I'm sure, so...
I will. I don't know about anybody else, but I'll be the only one online, and I'll still play the damn thing.
Right.
So, actually, that's what I was doing before this. I was playing some, little bit of Halo Reach.
Yeah, I have not played multiplayer in forever. I really need to.
It is fun. That's all I can say.
Right.
Alright, so you want to go ahead and move on to Game of the Week?
Absolutely.
Alright, go ahead.
And I guess I'll start since it was me who picked this week, and it's a little bit of a diamond in the rough. I think a lot of people know about it, but it's River City Ransom on the NES. Classic, I guess you would call it a side-scroller beat-em-up with RPG elements to it. I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with it.
Well, I've never played the game, but I did look up some gameplay online, like review kind of stuff, and it looks like it reminds me of Double Dragon, a little bit.
Yeah.
As far as like the side-scrolling.
Yeah, it's side-scrolling, and it's really meant to be played with two people. That's where it's most fun. And basically what it is you have these two high school guys, and guy comes in and kidnaps your girlfriend, so you got to go rescue her.
Oh no.
And typical setup for a game. But what really makes it fun is it's just endless kicking the crap out of guys, basically. Like every time you go to a new screen, you'll get a whole new wave of enemies. You have to kill all of them. Well, you don't have to. Like you could just run through the screen and continue on, but you want to kill them all. And every time you kill somebody, they drop money. And then you get to certain spots where you can go and buy stuff. Like you have to buy food to recover your health. You can buy, in the bookstore, you buy books to give you new abilities. So there's kind of and some of the food you buy will give you little buffs to different stats. So there's an RPG element that made it really kind of fun. And it's the first time I can ever remember that there's nudity in an NES game.
What?
So, yeah, if there's a certain spot in the game where there's a sauna, or like a spa, and if you go in there, you can go in the sauna, and it basically shows a back view of your character, and they're like taking the towel and rubbing their back, and you see their back.
Oh, okay. It's male nudity.
Yeah, male reverse nudity. I guess.
Right. I got a little less excited, but
yeah, it was funny at the time though, 1988.
Well, there's that Well, never mind. We'll talk about River City Ransom. I'll mention this later.
The Bubble Bath Babes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's the other one. What's it called?
Boo Poker.
What is it?
Peekaboo Poker.
No, well, if that's dude,
I've
I've never heard of it, but there was another one. It's called it's a wisdom tree game, and it's the one where you're the skateboarding kid. They remade it into a Christian game, and it's called Sunday Fun Day. And before it was a Christian game though, it was a game, and you're the skateboarder kid, and as you progress through the level, it shows your girlfriend being tied up, and after the end of each level, it shows her clothes deteriorating. And and by the end, she's basically just in her underwear, which isn't a big deal now, but I'm sure in 90s,
back then, yeah,
ever, I'm sure it was a pretty big deal.
But yeah, there was the Bubble Bath Babes, and then Peekaboo Poker were the ones I remember
that one's got to be pretty rare because I've never heard.
Yeah.
of it. That's okay. And even I'm looking at River City Ransom. It is not a cheap game.
I didn't look into that, but
the cheapest right now I can buy it for is $17, and that's without shipping.
Yeah.
And that's not bad, but for an NES game, it's kind of a lot. But
yeah, that's pretty.
That seems like if you just find an auction, you can probably get it for around 10 or 15.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm gonna look at how much it costs to get complete in box, and it's the only one on there is there's a sealed one for 200, and then there's one for 45, 40. We'll pass for now.
Yeah, that's
although I am interested in getting it because it looks like
it's a fun one.
When I looked at the gameplay, one thing I couldn't help but notice is that the graphics and the sprites look a lot like in the game Super Dodgeball.
Yeah, it's made by the same people.
Okay, I was going to ask you that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's made by the same people, and after River City Ransom came out, they made another one called Crash and the Boys Street Challenge, I think it's called. And then there was a couple released in Japan that never made it to the U.S. They made like a hockey one and another, I think it was Winter Street Challenge or something like that, like winter game related, that all have those same style characters and the same cast of characters in the hockey one. It's the same guys, but but yeah, it's Technos Japan is who makes it. And
okay.
All their games have that similar kind of look, especially with the character sprites and stuff. But
yeah, that's what immediately when I saw the game, that's what caught my eye.
Yep. That was a good catch by you.
It was. And, I have the dodgeball game, and maybe that'll be a game of the week one day. But, to be honest, a lot of people praise the game. Do you have it before I start spieling about it?
What, River City Ransom?
No, the dodgeball one.
Or dodgeball. I have the Game Boy Advance one, and I have the DS one. But I don't
How's the DS one? I wanted to get it.
It's not bad. I mean, it's the same.
It was only $5 at GameStop for a completed box copy, so...
Yeah, it's not bad. It's worth picking up.
Okay. Maybe I will one day. But a lot of people praise the NES game. And I don't know if I'm missing something or what, but I just cannot get into it. I kind of felt like it was going to be the kind of game like Contra, where I could just put in any time and play. But I forgot what you said. Did you say you had it or no?
No,
you have
not
the Game Boy
NES.
Advance and the DS. That's right.
Yeah.
It flickers an absolute massive amount, and I don't know. I can't get into it. I keep giving it tries, and each time it seems to get a little easier or a little better for me. So I'm sure eventually I'll become a big fan or what have you. But I just can't get into it. Right?
Yeah, that's interesting that it's got screen flicker because they're usually pretty good at dealing with the NES. I mean, there's a lot of going on in River City Ransom. I mean, it doesn't flicker.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's actually really distracting. But
it was always a problem with the NES when you had too much going on.
Yeah,
it would
sucks.
do that.
But not much really you can do about it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right. So, is there anything else you wanted to say about River City?
No, go play it.
Okay. I think I can manage that. All right, well, I guess now it's time we can move into a retro corner.
Yeah.
And you actually said, it was my turn to come up with a topic, but I was struggling to come up with something, and you mentioned this. And
yeah, I thought it was...
I think it's a good debate.
Yeah, especially given what we were just talking about with, like, screen flicker and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, basically the topic is emulation versus real consoles, and it's specifically in the retro. You know, I think emulation is great personally. I think it's a great way to keep old games alive. I don't know how you feel about it personally. We didn't talk about it before, but
True. I'm not against emulation. I mean, I have them on my computer. I even had them on my phone before I had to get a new one. You know, it is cool. It's good for on the go. I mean, if I wanted to play stadium events or, you know, some super rare game, I have the ability to do so.
right.
So in that realm, I think it's great. But it can, I don't know if you agree with this or not, because I know you like it, but in my eyes, it can never meet putting the game in the console and playing it on a TV.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't think it's a replacement for gaming with your old school console, but I think it's a nice, especially for like stuff that I do where I'm like the classic gameplay and stuff that I do on YouTube. It makes it much easier to record footage.
Definitely.
So especially for stuff like that, or even just like you said, to play like stadium events or something that you may never be able to play otherwise. I think it's really good for things like that. But I don't think it can be used as a replacement for the old school classic pop the NES game in your system, have it not work, blow on it, plug it in.
Yeah.
Nothing can replace that.
They need to put that like in the emulator,
right?
Like, in the program, like flickering black and blue screen or whatever.
Green.
Yeah, and it tells you to like blow on it or something. That'd be kind of funny.
That would be awesome, actually.
But along with the emulation, I think it's emulation. These consoles that are coming out now that allow you to play like the Genesis and the Super NES and the NES all in one.
Yeah, I guess they're a form of emulation. They're referred to as clone consoles.
Clone, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, but it's a form of emulation because basically they're using different hardware to play, the other games. So yeah, I would consider that a form. It's not straight up emulation, but it is a form of it. So, and I'm still undecided how I feel about those. I don't own one. I've thought about getting one just because I hear, especially for like the NES games, I hear there's less problems with actually getting the games to work, which we've all experienced with our old NES.
Oh, definitely.
Unless you buy that one from eBay that is guaranteed to work,
Yeah, that's
that we talked about last week.
Oh, $4,500. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's guaranteed to work. Why? I mean, it's worth it. Now, what would I say about the clone consoles? The only thing I think in a few years getting a clone console is within reason, because these things are old. Nintendo's, and they can't last forever. Which is actually depressing when you think about it. That in 30 years, this stuff might not work.
Although you look at the Ataris and stuff. They've been,
Atari is a champion. That thing works like a charm. It works better than my Nintendo 64. Every time I plug a game into the Atari 2600, it works.
Yeah.
It's bizarre, but I like it. But with the old consoles, like in 30 years, and not only that, but it's like the hassle of having like a Genesis, an NES, and a Super NES all hooked up at once. If I could just do it with one console, I don't see the harm. And they do allow you to plug in, the console's original controllers.
Yeah, the regular.
So it's not,
It's just a change in hardware, basically.
Yeah. So it's cool for that realm, but, as far as like, I guess if like some 35-year-old guy wanted to relive his childhood instead of getting hardcore into game collecting, it's a good option.
Yeah. It provides you another way to go about it. Mm-hmm. And there's ones out there that are like portable handhelds that'll play NES cards and stuff, which is an interesting idea. But
I have the Gen Mobile, which is a portable Genesis. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty cool little device. It's definitely pretty cool. I know it's emulation, but I got that for the reason of playing it on the go. I didn't get what I mean. And it works, and it's great.
I mean, I guess if you're playing like one or two games, then you could carry them around, but you can't really carry around like your whole Genesis collection with you.
That's true. That's another.
Yeah, that's the only drawback I see to them. But.
Yeah, like I wanted to get a Nomad, the portable Genesis that Sega made, but they're expensive, so this was a cheap alternative. So, it didn't never bother me to play emulation in that respect. And another form of emulation that I guess technically is emulation is I had Tone's Xbox. He's a YouTuber. He bought some Sega Master System games from me, and I don't think he doesn't like to use PayPal. So what he did is he sent me the money through the mail, and he put it in a PS2 case and just like literally shipped it to me. But he put this disc in there. It's called Nestor. It's an NES like library that allows you to play basically about 90% of the NES games made on your Dreamcast. It's called the Nestor DC.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, Nestor is one of the emulators, so
okay,
it's probably just a version for the Dreamcast.
All right, that sounds awesome. Well, it's this disc, and it has like almost any NES game you can think of, which, I played like Bubble Bobble Part 2, some of the rare ones that it would be almost out of, reach. And it's very cool. That I'm a fan of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, to lead off the conversation, basically it allows us to keep old games alive, you know, and it's, especially with, as we get older and we start having kids and stuff, that the actual hardware may not be around, but we can still share, this is what I used to have to play, and share that experience, even if the hardware is not necessarily still. So.
Right. And anybody who, wants to get one of these, I wouldn't, say don't get one. I'd say it's all in all, I'd say get a clone console or even an emulator on your computer. It's a fair option. Do you have a controller that plugs into your computer?
Yeah, I have, it's a Logitech controller. It basically looks like a PS2 controller.
Okay. Because I cannot play a game worth diddly beans with a keyboard.
With a keyboard. Yeah, I could never do that.
It sucks.
But I picked this one up like, I don't know, it was probably 5 or 6 years ago. And I mean, it works like a charm. And it's got the dual analog stick, so I can, I can do N64 and stuff like that, and arcade games, and I can use analog. So, I mean, that's a lot of the emulation that I do is the MAME, which is arcade. And that, especially to me, I couldn't survive without that, because you can't go to an arcade really anymore and play.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few like Dave and Buster's and stuff, but they don't have all the old school stuff.
Yeah, it's not the same.
So, to me, like, I can't live without my MAME.
I think it's cool that people make MAME arcade cabinets.
Yeah, I actually have. A while back, I picked up a Golden Tee home unit that was a miniature, not a miniature, but a stripped down arcade cabinet, and I disassembled the thing, and I want to build a MAME arcade cabinet, but I just haven't had the time to actually do it. So
that'd be awesome.
Someday, that's my dream. I will have it. But
I tried to get MAME working once, and I never could do it, but it basically allows you to play like all the arcade games that were made, basically.
Pretty much. I mean, there's a few that won't run properly on it, but especially old school stuff, you can play just about anything. Yeah, it's awesome. Pretty much anything old school you can play, and stuff you've never heard of, you can fire it up and find out what it's like. It's pretty cool.
I'd be interested to play Battletoads, the arcade game.
I don't think I've ever fired up the arcade version. I'll have to do it.
I actually, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was actually made by Electronic Arts.
I could probably find out real quick.
Oh, all right, let's test it. How
I guess, yeah, let me fire up MAME and just find out.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Bear with us as we have dead silence.
Maybe I'll put in some background music.
I was playing Cabal last, actually.
Nice. Good for you. Good for you.
Let me see. Battletoads. Might take a minute to find it.
Yeah, you could have just gone to Wikipedia, probably.
Yeah, it probably would have been faster to do that, but where's the fun in that?
That's true.
Let's see. Battle Cry. I don't see Battletoads. Oh, there's Battletoads.
Oh,
yes, indeedy. The very first screen I get is Electronic Arts. Yes.
Nice.
Rare and Electronic Arts combined.
That's got to be golden. Actually, I could be wrong again, but I believe it's a lot more graphic than the
it actually
versions.
Pretty amazing.
Damn it! I have to get MAME.
Yeah. Go watch my tutorial. I teach y'all how to do it.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
I show you the ways of the Force.
The
But yeah.
emulator you're looking for. So, yeah, I'll have to get MAME and play the hell out of Battletoads. Well, first I got to get a controller because I can't do shit with the keyboard.
Yeah, I think the one I got was like $20 or something. Not bad at all.
No, yeah, it's probably worth it and play endless video games forever.
Yeah. And it works like a charm, too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, bottom line, I think for emulation, it's a good alternative, but for me, it's always going to be about the physical cartridges and the tangible.
Yeah. Especially us, because we're collectors. I think nothing will ever replace that feeling for us. Yeah. It's nice that it's there and it's available.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely cool. So, you want to go ahead and move on to the what we are playing?
Absolutely.
I guess I'll start this one.
There you go.
On the modern side, if you guys saw in my last pickups video, I sort of raved this game, and you were a little hesitant on liking it. I guess I don't know. I'll find that out in a minute. But
yeah, I'll let you go ahead.
It's a Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe on the 360. Now, here's what I'm getting out of this. The fact I can do Sub-Zero versus the Joker perks my ears up like no other. And on top of it, it's a fun-ass game. And I'm playing it on easy because I'm absolutely terrible at fighting games. And I'm doing pretty good. I'm just learning my combos and my special move. But this is going to be a game, I can tell you right now, Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe is going to be the kind of game that in 10 years... it's going to be my Contra. It's going to be the kind of game that I can put in any time and enjoy the hell out of. So, Nick, I ask you this. What is your beef with it?
I guess my beef was that I just expected it to be more like Mortal Kombat, and it's not. Like,
yeah. I mean, the blood is half-assed there.
It's very toned down. I mean, it's teen rated, so, you don't get much of anything. And, I mean, there are parts of it that I like you say, the matchups that you can do are amazingly fun. But, yeah, I just expected more out of it. I don't hate it. Like, I think it's decent. And I think you paid, like, what, $10 or something for it?
Well, I didn't pay a separate. Well, I got 3 games and a DVD for $20, so
not
let's say
even
$5.
$5. So yeah, for that much, yeah, you can't go wrong. I mean, I didn't hate it. I guess I just expected more from it. I wanted more Mortal Kombat. I got the universe, Yeah,
well, I think it's a fine line they walked there, because if they did go the M-rated route, I don't think people would be too kind to see Scorpion rip off Batman's head.
Well, basically what it was DC wouldn't let them.
Okay, that makes sense.
They said you can use our characters, but you can't do Mortal Kombat with them. So that's what it was.
Well, the result probably made some people mad, I would imagine, but to me, it's more about having fun with it, and that's a game that I sit down and I have a good time.
It's fun, and especially if you play multiplayer, you can have some fun.
Actually, I didn't play multiplayer yet. Guess I'll have to try that now.
I mean, fighting games are made to be played, 2 guys on a couch wanting to crap each other, because same guy keeps doing the same move over and over,
Yep.
That's the thrill of fighting games for me. But
another thing I like about it is the story, like how I know it's kind of like, it feels almost like they sort of went the easy way with it, sort of like, it's hard to explain unless you've played it. It seems like things just match up too well.
A little too good, yeah.
Yeah, like the Joker just happens to walk up right behind Scorpion when he's in Gotham City.
Right,
Why the hell did that happen? There's no rhyme or reason. And then, the Joker, starts getting pissy, and Scorpion says, okay, well, I'm going to kick your ass.
Right,
so that's how it happens. And
I mean, they did a good job with the story mode, and, they kind of took that into Mortal Kombat 9, and, they made the story mode kind of similar in Mortal Kombat 9. So.
Cool. Now, I just finished, I think 2 days ago or yesterday, I finished the Mortal Kombat side of the single player, and today I finished the DC. And it's pretty cool to see how they sort of made the two games feel different. And
Yeah.
they do feel different, but go along with the same story.
Yeah, they kind of cross paths with each other, and you get to see both sides of it. But
It's it's pretty cool how they did it. But again, it does feel a little bit, how do you say, too coincidental.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah, it all falls together a little too nicely.
Yeah, but now this really really makes me want to pick up Mortal Kombat 9.
Yeah, you need to. I can't say any more about it than I already have, but
yeah, looks like a goodie. But yeah, that's definitely one I'll have to pick up. But I don't want to pick up I have to get it new kind of because I want the Combat Pass and all that.
Yeah, you gotta get it
Stupid
new.
EA, fucking pricks. That's what they are. Okay, so enough about about that one. On the retro side, this is actually a little sneak peek to a pickups video that I'll probably show off in the future. It's Tetris Attack on the Super NES. Now, so far it seems like a lot of the retro games that I've been picking are puzzle games.
Yeah.
Like I picked Lolo, Tetris 2, and now Tetris Attack. And it is a puzzle game, of course, but it's have you ever played it?
I'm not familiar with it, actually.
Okay. It's just as much a Mario game as it is a Tetris game.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's more like Yoshi than it is Mario. But definitely a different... the cover doesn't show Yoshi at all. So unless I knew anything about the game going into buying it, I wouldn't know anything that it had to do with Yoshi. But it does sort of revolve around the Mario universe, and Bowser's in it. And it's an interesting puzzle game. It's unlike Tetris completely. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Bejeweled to a slight degree because you swap two tiles with each other and try to line up 3 or more in a row. But you can only swap them side to side. You can't do it up and down. Or you can move your swapper up and down, but you can't swap blocks that are on top of each other.
Right.
You have to do only ones that are touching from sides. And it's pretty damn fun. I got caught up in playing it for about an hour today. So it's definitely one worth checking out.
So is there like a platforming to get to the puzzle part, or is it just puzzle stages?
It's there's no platforming. No.
Okay, it's just Yoshi's in it. Gotcha.
Right. It's kind of like Yoshi and Yoshi's Cookie for the NES and Super NES. It's kind of like that. Like it's Yoshi's universe, but it's all puzzle.
Oh, okay.
So it's fairly cheap. So I say check it out.
It makes me wonder why they put the Tetris name on it. It's I think
it might have to do with the fact that I don't know how well received Yoshi and Yoshi's Cookie were. Don't quote me, but I don't think people absolutely adored those games. I really don't. So maybe
I don't think
this was plus Tetris is synonymous with puzzle games, so I think
it's just it's kind of interesting that they put Tetris on there.
Definitely,
because I'm actually looking at gameplay now, and it looks nothing like a Tetris game.
No, but you see what I mean? How it's kind of like you've played Bejeweled, right?
Bejeweled, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you just swap 2 bricks or whatever you want.
Yeah, it's kind of like columns almost too.
That's another one. It is kind of like columns actually, and it's pretty fun. I had a blast with it.
I mean, it looks interesting. Definitely looks.
Yeah, you know what? Here's what I'll suggest. Why don't you just download a ROM of it?
Right. I probably already have it and play it.
See what you think? So that's basically all I've been playing. Mortal Kombat. Well, obviously the Halo, the standard fare, but
yeah,
that's new. That's what I've been doing. How about yourself?
For me, not a whole lot this week, just because of lack of time. But I did fire up Mega Man 10 on the old Xbox Live Arcade. I tried to play 9 first, and it just pissed me off to no end. I couldn't get past the first stage. I don't know why. I've always been terrible at Mega Man.
I'm god awful.
And so I switched over to 10 and actually had a much easier time because I played on easy. But I tried to play on normal and I just kept dying, so I switched it to easy just to get through the game. And so I've beaten all of the Robot Masters, and now I'm on Wily's Castle stages. It's classic, man. It's always fun.
That's what I was going to say, is that one thing I like about 9 and 10 is how they went back and sort of gave it fan service by making the 8-bit.
Yeah, it feels like an 8-bit game. You're just playing it on your Xbox. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then still playing MLB The Show, although it's starting to piss me off. Because I'm in my second season. I'm still in AAA. I'm the absolute best player in the league, and they won't promote me. So I'm getting really mad. But I'm going to keep playing it. And unfortunately, on the retro side, I really haven't played anything this week. So I know, blasphemy. I need to fire up River City Ransom, actually. But
yes, you do.
Talking about it. But yeah, sadly, nothing new on the retro side for me.
Well, it's for me. It's kind of, unless you have a steady like inflow of retro games, it's kind of hard to play new. Like Tetris Attack is new for me.
Right.
So that's kind of why I think most of the games, aside from Lolo and Battletoads Double Dragon that I've mentioned, have been new to me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I meant to actually play River City Ransom in anticipation of the show. I just didn't have time this weekend. So
right.
I was doing a whole lot of other stuff, but
yeah, well, you got a baby on the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
And well, plus you were jumping out of airplanes.
I was jumping out of airplanes. Yes, we didn't mention that at the top of the show. Yeah, I actually mentioned that in a YouTube video like forever ago when I first got. My wife actually bought it for me for my birthday, but I finally got to do it. Yeah, if you ever get the chance, you have to do it. That's all I can say.
I gotta say, I'll do a lot of things. I don't think I'd jump out of an airplane.
Jumping out of an airplane is not one of them.
Yeah, I'd go parasailing behind a boat or something. I just can't jump out of an airplane, I don't think. Just the thought of it, jumping out of an airplane.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, like, I always wanted to do it, and so when she got that for me, like, I was super stoked, and it actually took me 3 tries before I actually got to do it.
What was the problem?
Weather. Like, the first time, literally, I'm there, I'm waiting in line, you gotta wait till your turn, and a big, huge storm shows up, and it starts raining cats and dogs, and so I waited around for, 3 hours that day, and didn't get to do it, so we finally gave up and left. So then we go back again, and, again, clouds show up, I don't get to jump. But this time, yeah, everything went well, and it was amazing. Like, the feeling, it's really hard to describe. It doesn't feel like you're falling, like when you're in free fall. It's almost more like floating because there's nothing around you to give you, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a point of reference, because it's just sky. So you can't see how fast you're going because there's nothing else around you. So, like, you feel the wind in your face, but it feels like you're floating. It doesn't feel like you're falling. And then, once you open the chute, you can sit back and relax and just enjoy the view from 12,000 feet. It's pretty awesome.
Now, here's the thing with the jumping out of an airplane. I'd do it if I knew that parachute was going to open up 100% of the time and there was no risk in it.
Right, which unfortunately there is risk.
Yes.
Before you get to do it, they make you watch this awesome video that's from 1980 and the guys look like he's from ZZ Top. It's really awesome. Because it's the same system that they use, even though the system's improved, it's the same, so they just use the same video. And it's basically telling you, there's no such thing as a perfect airplane or a perfect parachute, and things can go wrong.
How many parachutes do you have, 2 or 3?
You've got your regular chute, and then I think there's one reserve chute, which the system that they use at the place that I went is basically automatic. Like, if you're still going at a certain rate of speed at a certain height, it automatically opens. Okay. So it's almost foolproof. I mean, there's still that, chance that something will go wrong. But, I mean, ours was picture perfect. Nothing went wrong. So
that's awesome.
I'll have the video on YouTube as soon as I get it.
Oh, sweet.
They have to send it to me. I should actually get it tomorrow. So I'll post
awesome.
So people can
I'll watch that. I'll watch that. So it's you, on a helmet camera or something? Or?
It's actually somebody else that jumped with us. And they, they actually did little interviews on the way up in the plane, talking to me. And then, they climbed out on the plane first. And then we jumped out. And then they're, below me as I'm falling. And then they open the chute. So, they filmed their view of opening the chute. And then they land ahead of you so they can film you landing. So it's pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool.
So now that we went off on that tangent.
Yeah, so we went from, Tetris to jumping out of airplanes.
Jumping out of airplanes. Yeah.
That's what you get. That's what you pay for, folks. Right there. So no retro stuff, huh?
No, unfortunately not.
Well.
Say that, actually.
Yeah, well, you know what time it is then?
eBay time.
It's the favorite part of the thing. It's eBay auctions. All right, well, I think this formula we've been using where I do one, you do one, has been fitting, working pretty well. Now, I have a couple here that I picked not because they are ridiculously expensive.
But because
In fact, it's quite the opposite.
in fact, it took me. I clicked over to these and I'm like, why the heck did he pick these? And then I realized what was going on.
Uh-oh.
Except for maybe the first one. That one's not so shocking. But
Wait a minute. For some reason, I can't look at it. It won't. Oh, I'm sorry. I know why.
just have to scroll down. Yeah.
I know. Well, I have a link. Like, I turned our email into a Word document because it's easier for me to scroll down through. And the first half of the link is on one page, and the second half's on the other. And I forgot to copy and paste the second half, so I just pasted the first half. So let's go. Okay, here it is. All right, yeah. So the first one is Pokemon Stadium, kind of, for the Nintendo 64. And Pokemon Stadium 1 it's not entirely common. You know, it's pretty common, but not ultra common. And it still fetches a decent amount because it is Pokemon. But the sequel is more sought after, and it's about a $20 game, I'd say. Somewhere around there. I think if you go to a resale shop, it'll probably be around $20, $25. This one is listed as Pokemon Stadium, but it's actually Pokemon Stadium 2 in the picture. And it had a buy it now of $2.49.
Interesting.
That is bizarre.
So I wonder which one it actually was. That's if it's the picture, then that's pretty good.
Yes, it is. And I was gonna buy something from these guys, and it was they don't describe it at all. I don't know if you scroll down, it doesn't show anything about what you are getting. It just says thanks for visiting us, and then it's been tested and all that BS. They had a copy of Streets of Rage 3 for the Genesis, which is a pretty expensive game, with the box for $13. And I was about to buy it, but I didn't want to buy it unless I knew, I probably would have bought it anyway, but I wanted to know if it had the manual in it before I bought it.
Right.
And since they didn't tell you anything, that I didn't know. So I messaged the guy, or the place, whatever, and he said he'd contact me in the morning when he got to the warehouse. Never contacted me. Next thing I go on, some fucker bought it. I never got it, So it's like, just describe it. Oh
right.
God, just describe it.
Yeah, I hate when people do that. Like, they just put that generic description of the game itself, not the actual one that they're selling.
Right. And another thing that's interesting in the picture, there's a $10 price tag on it.
Yeah, I did see that.
So, whatever. So, now this next one is actually from the same seller, and I think this one might be a little bit more ridiculous, probably, just because of the game that it is.
Yeah.
And it's Ocarina of Time on the 64, and it did sell, yeah. Oh my god. The more I look at it, the more I'm bizarre. It's sold for $1. It was a buy it now for $1. Now, somebody's name is written on the front label, but you can get that off. So, this was like, $1? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that is pretty, although I'm looking at, the similar auction thing, and they're going for like $5 or $6 for just a loose cart. Yeah. Yeah, there's one for like $5.24 and then another for $6.99.
Are they buy it now, or?
I think they're auctions, but...
Oh, okay. See, though, I'm looking at buy it nows, and if it was their collector's edition, it'd be a lot cooler.
Yeah.
That's like a little more rare.
But it's just a great cart.
But still, $1 for a Zelda game. I'd pay $1 for the worst Zelda game on the planet. You know what I mean? It's still Zelda.
Yeah, $1 for just about anything is kind of ridiculous.
You know what? $1 is the price, like, at garage sales. It's like, well, what the hell? It's $1. I'll take it.
Right.
So, I'm looking on his page now, and he's got some games up there that are more normally priced, but they're still all pretty damn good. Isn't Bomberman World or Bomberman Hero? Isn't that a rare game or something?
I'm not sure.
There's a Bomberman game for the 64 that's like pretty rare and expensive. I don't know if it's that one though. All right, well, we'll go on to your first eBay auction.
All right, my first one, and this just caught my eye because I've never even seen it before, and then the price is pretty darn amazing. It is the Sega Mega Drive version of Tetris, and it is actually signed by Alexei Patzinoff, the creator of Tetris. And
Holy shit!
Right?
I'm sorry, I just opened the link.
That was my reaction when I saw it too.
Wow.
Yeah, a cool $1 million for this bad boy. The case is actually not in all that great of shape, but anyway, if what this guy says is to be believed, there's only 3 of these in the world. I don't know if he means the game itself or a signed version. I'm guessing the signed version.
I'll be honest, I never knew that there was this. I never knew this game existed.
So there you go. There may only be 3.
Yeah, it might be. I can't see a Tetris game being that rare though, so I'd probably side with you on the signed copy.
Yeah, I'm guessing, but
wow.
I don't know if it's $1 million worth, but
I'm gonna do a little searching on eBay real quick and see if there's another.
Sega.
Yeah, see if there's another Sega Tetris game on here. Yada yada yada. Okay. Oh, there's $1 million.
It's pretty darn cool.
It is. Yeah.
It is the Japanese Mega Drive version, so it's all in Japanese. And he has a picture of Alexei signing it, so, or shaking hands with the guy, which makes me wonder why he's selling it. But
oh, here's another one for the United Kingdom. It's $108, and it's got 0 bids. Surprise! Surprise!
Surprise! Yeah. Oddly enough, to buy it now has not been bought for $1 million.
I mean, wow, Nick, this is. How do you find this stuff?
Oddly enough, I clicked on the thing and went to most expensive and found it.
Damn. $1 million, Christ.
Yeah, I'm trying to see
Tetris is a good game, but I'd rather just emulate this one.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
And he apparently bought it 4 years ago for 11, I can't tell if that's 11,000 euros, I guess. But now somehow it's worth $1 million, so.
That's weird. Yeah, he put 11,000,000.
Yeah.
But even 11,000 euros, I don't think is very many dollars.
No, I don't know what the current exchange rate is, but.
Well, whatever. I don't like this auction. I don't like it. Well, I mean, I like it for the bizarre eBay auction, but the guy, like the way he made it, he makes it sound like it's
worth
king shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he links to all these like news.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. Like Rolling Stone magazine. He's serious.
Apparently.
Wow. This guy's something.
For the bargain price of $1 million.
100 bones. 100.
Okay. Well, here you go. In the Rolling Stone, it says. A like-new copy of the Japanese Mega Drive version, only a handful of the rare cartridges reportedly exist.
Oh, okay.
So I guess it is the cartridge itself.
But
so maybe it is worth $1 million. I don't know. I find it hard.
I can't see it being worth more than a sealed copy of Stadium Events.
Like Stadium Events, yeah.
And that sold for, was it 22 grand? And now that guy that bought it has it on eBay. He got it like VGA graded, and he's trying to get like 40 grand or something out of it.
Yeah, I did see that, actually, when I was looking at this one.
Yeah, that guy, he's been jumping around prices. He's probably just toying with people.
Yeah.
But, that's pretty bizarre. He looks like an 80s metal band guy, too.
Yeah, he really does.
Like he should be in, like, Bon Jovi or something.
Styx or something.
Styx. Come sail away. Okay,
So I think I win again, but...
So, yeah, well, I have one more, which you're still going to beat. But, I thought this was worth mentioning. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste so I can view it. So I can, if I just click the link in Microsoft Word, it takes me to Internet Explorer, which blows. But anyway, this next one is a very rare, supposedly, Green Lantern Xbox 360.
The almighty 4 gigabyte version.
Yeah, well, wow, God. 4 gigabytes. I read the description. What's that?
It is the Slim, so...
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the new one, but apparently it's a Toys R Us like exclusive. It was, I guess, given away in a sweepstakes or something. That's what this guy claims.
Yeah,
and,
I had never even heard of it. So.
Same here. I don't know. I know there was that Nintendo 64. I think it was the gold one that was in Toys R Us exclusive. That's pretty rare now, but $1,000 for an Xbox 360 that's basically just has the Green Lantern skin on it.
Yeah, and it's
Give me a break.
The crappy movie version too, so it's not like it's.
Yeah, it's not like classic comic book action.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds on your Xbox. Who wants that?
Because that's what you want. You know?
Yeah. Actually, this is gonna sound weird, but I have a gay friend that that loves Ryan Reynolds.
So maybe he would pay $1,000 for a Green Lantern.
You know what? He might. You never know. Gay. He. I don't know. $1,000 plus $15 shipping. He doesn't have the audacity to give you free shipping.
No,
Come
but
on.
he does give you a bonus of the factory-sealed Green Lantern crappy Xbox game. So
Yeah.
there's that, with 3D glasses included. So.
Oh, speaking. According to a study, 3D makes the game
3D
worse. Yeah. Jesus. All right. Well, that one's kind of lame, but
Well, if you scroll all the way, he's got the official rules from the original promotion. Apparently, there were 10 of them.
10.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait.
20. Yeah, 10 exclusive 4GB Green Lantern custom consoles, and 20 just regular 4GB Xboxes. So there were only 10 of these.
And then 20 regular ones with the Green
Just
Lantern.
20 regular Xbox, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, maybe. You know what? Here's what I would do if I were him. I'd save this for about 10 years from now, or 30 years, 20 years, whenever this 60 becomes a collectible. And this will be worth probably a fortune.
Yeah.
I mean, with only 10 of them made. I wonder if he has a box. Actually,
he does say complete. Yeah, he says.
Okay, I was going to say, in the picture, if you look up in the right-hand corner, that looks like a box.
Yeah. He does say,
So.
brand new and factory sealed. He only took it out to take a picture, I think he said somewhere.
Okay.
So.
Well, this is definitely something I'd hang on to for a few years.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it
It'll
right
probably work
now.
quite a bit. Alright, so we can go ahead and move on to your last one.
Yes, my last but not least. This one just boggles my mind. But
Alright, hold on. I'm about to paste it. Hold on. Let's see how ridiculous this one is. What the fuck is this?
I always manage to elicit those responses from you. It's quite amazing.
What is this?
It is the original PS3, the 60 gigabyte model. You know, the big old fatty one.
Uh-huh.
It breaks down all the time. For the mere price of $2,200, but he's got a quiz on here, and if you can pass his quiz, he'll give you 10% off.
So it would be $1,980.
Yes.
Or, yeah, something like that. I'm not sure.
Something
if that's
like
right.
that. Yeah, minus $220.
What's the question?
If you scroll down towards the bottom of the actual auction listing, there's a picture of an advertisement of this. It's called Lichiko. It's some Japanese like sake rice wine or something.
Okay.
And if you can locate the bottle of this product in this picture and tell him where it is, then you get 10% off. Which I have actually located the bottle. So.
Okay, hold on. Well, Jesus Christ, it's right there.
Yeah,
it's like in the top left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't even blend in. Well, okay, so for $1,980, I can get a Xbox or a PS3.
PS3.
I don't
Early
know.
model, Japan apparently.
Yeah, he's from it's from Japan. So what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't really know why he would think it would. I guess because maybe is it sealed? It says brand new. It doesn't say sealed. I don't know. It's not worth $2,200. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Do you see this guy's name?
I didn't look at his name actually. Let me scroll back up here. I can't even read his name.
Okay. Well, it's World Urea Network.
Yeah.
Here's what I read when I first looked at it. Worldy Urine Teamwork. I'm not even kidding you. I saw urine, and I was like, what the f...
Out of all that, you pulled out urine.
And that's not... I don't even think that's how you spell urine.
No, it's not.
Okay, there's no A.
Leave out the A in
Yeah, okay. But that caught my eye, too. I don't understand this. Does he think it's going to... No offers.
No, not surprisingly.
109 views. Yeah. Whatever.
I don't get it, but... Which is why it makes for a great bizarre eBay auction.
You know what it does?
Although, if you look on here, there's a bunch more of these for like that same price. I don't know if it's the same guy, but... same guy. He just bought all these early PS3s, hoping they're collectible by now. Right.
It says that the HDMI cable is not bundled. What does that mean? It doesn't come with it, or what?
I guess.
Yeah,
See,
I guess.
HDMI cable is not bundled, yeah. Which totally defeats the purpose of having a PS3.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever played a PS3 on AV cables, it looks like utter crap.
I wouldn't know. I've only played a PS3 in the store, and
Yeah, like the first time I ever hooked mine up, I hooked it up with AV cables, and then was like,
Did I accidentally buy a PlayStation 2?
yeah, it really looked awful. But
I have my 360 hooked up via HDMI, and I'm pleased.
Yeah, or even component, would look much better. But
well, so. Nick, you've done it again. I'm gonna win. I'll get one time.
One of these times. And see, I even let you pick everything first, and then I went and found mine, and I still beat you.
Yeah. Don't get used to it. Just kidding. Shitty.
Find me $1 million Mega Drive cartridge and we'll talk.
Damn it! How did you find it?
I really didn't even have to look that hard. That's the amazing part.
I don't know what I do when I look for these things.
I'm not giving you my secrets, though.
Yeah, I guess not. Damn it.
Just click on the category and go to most expensive. That's what I do.
Well, not only did you just give me the secret, but you gave everybody that just is listening to this. But that's okay. All right. Well, we are cruising on an easy hour and 15 minutes already.
Again, wow.
Damn, yeah, they just keep getting longer. In fact, they have progressively gotten longer.
It's because of skydiving talk. That's what.
Oh yeah, skydiving, of course, and then little conversations like this right here.
Right.
Are taking up time. So that's all I've got to say, unless you have something to say.
Not just spread the word. If you guys watch this, if you listen to us and like us, tell a friend.
Yes.
If you don't, keep it to yourself.
Yes, shut it. Just shut it.
But, spread the word. We'd like to see our views go up.
Yeah. I mean, the first two videos were great. The second one, or the third one, just didn't take off. I have a theory, and maybe it has to do with the length. We'll see after this one.
We'll see, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it happens. But, I think I was shooting for around 45 minutes to an hour, but an hour and 15 minutes, who gives a crap?
Right.
So, so whatever. To each his own. So that's it for episode 4 of RattleCast. I'll have to come up with a catchy title for this one. And until episode 5, guys, I'll talk to you later.
Take it easy, guys.